together. For me, I have grown from a rural environment, and we used to go hunting. You don't share the animal before it dies. So when you go to hunt, you must collectively and tirelessly work without demanding what is going to be your share. But you first chase the game, have it killed, then you sit and settle. I think this is a big challenge with the opposition. Before we get into government, I think the issue of positions, who is where, who is doing what, and what is preoccupying us. So, leader of opposition, I want to thank you for bringing us together, and I pray that all opposition parties should focus on having the animal killed first. Then we can sit and sort ourselves. With this brief permission, I want to wish you a successful conclusion of this function. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Honorable Businge, on behalf of the Forum for Democratic Change. Now, so far, we have heard from Alliance for National Transformation. We have heard from the People's Progressive Party, from the Justice Forum, JEMA, from Uganda People's Congress, from the Democratic Party, and from the Forum for Democratic Change. As we wind up from the political parties, it now gives me an honor to invite the party president of the National Unity Platform, Honorable Chagulanyi Robert Sentamu, to kindly come and share some words on this event. Honorable, please.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. The Right Honorable Leader of Opposition in the 11th Parliament, the Chief Opposition Whip, Deputy Chief Opposition Whip, the Acting Coordinator of the Alliance for National Transformation, the Honorable Alice Alaso, the Lord Mayor who just left, Party President of the Justice Forum, the Honorable Asumani Basalirwa, my good friend, the Secretaries General from the People's Progressive Party, Mr. Alira David, from the Uganda People's Congress, Honorable Ebil, from the Democratic Party, the Honorable Gerard Siranda, and from the National Unity Platform, Mr. David Lewis Rubongoya. The shadow cabinet members, the leadership of the National Unity Platform members are present today. Honorable members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted today to be present as our parliamentary front launches their legislative agenda, which amazingly is the first of its kind in the history of Uganda. More particularly, I'm delighted that the legislative agenda focuses on areas among many such as the electoral reforms, curbing wasteful spending, service delivery, especially in the areas of education and health, and the participation and performance of our members of Parliament. You all know, and it has actually been mentioned, that we've been severally criticized as a group that has no clear agenda, as a group that would sink this country if we ever take power. Many times we've been criticized to be a group that has no alternative policy. Although I've been many times encouraging such critiques to read our manifesto, the manifesto of the National Unity Platform, and indeed the manifestos of other parties, the ANT manifesto, the FDC manifesto, and the DP manifesto, I further want to encourage them to read this legislative agenda, because this legislative agenda largely covers, it's largely a reflection of our manifesto. So I know that such people criticize us that way simply because they try to cover the truth. And I'm very honored to see that every now and then the truth protrudes out and manifests itself. I salute you once again, friends. Honorable members, allow me to once again congratulate you for emerging victorious from an extremely, extremely violent election. We will all agree that the election in which you emerged winners was more or less a war front, and if it was a less violent election, we would have much, much more members in this house. But we are here and we have to work with what is here today. While we are here, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you that the common person down there in the common places, in the rural areas, in the ghetto, the common Ugandan is still skeptical about whether this parliament is capable of performing its mandate. You will agree with me that this parliament, like all other institutions of government, have been vulgarized. This parliament in particular has on many occasions, but more particularly on the age limit debate, has cast itself in very bad light with the people. So while you have a duty to, restore confidence of the people in this parliament, I want you to know the reality of where you are, the reality of the way things are. Friends, we are in a military dictatorship. I will say it again for clarity. We are in a military dictatorship. People largely have no faith in this parliament. So you must not sit here and forget the reality. You must not sit here and forget what is in the minds and eyes of the people that you represent here. Of course, it's very, very important to know. Well, you know that already, but it's important to remind you that the parliament and the judiciary are largely used, to cast an image of democratic rule and constitutionalism in this country. They're only used to cover.
Ebiwooma byo biggwa byokya naye kyenyiza okutegeeza mu budde buno nti ebigambo by'omukulembeze w'ekibiina kya NUP Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu tujja kwongera okubikutuuzaako mu mawulire gaffe agaddako Gambuuze n'Ageesigika gwe sigala nga weekumidde ku BBS Telefayina. Nze Joanne